Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And today we're going to talk about something that you have no idea what we're talking about, which always makes this fun.
Well, like usual.
But you actually brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and you were asking about problems that you were having with shipments not arriving. And you had mentioned, what is probably the number one item that you send out that people don't get?
Oh, without a doubt, sports cards.
And have you been using the eBay standard envelope?
Yep.
And I have as well. On Vivs-Views, I was using it, and I actually got a negative from somebody or other because the item never showed up. Now, they never contacted me. They never did anything at all like that.
Right.
So I've actually changed my business plan over there. I was originally planning on sending everything out eBay standard envelope because it's cheap.
Sure.
It's, I forget what it is, 60 cents, 60-some cents, something or other like that to send a postcard out. And I've actually changed it, even though it's going to cost me money, because I've only got 50 positives over there, and a negative looks really, really bad on something or other like that. So do you have any comments or thoughts about the program?
I mean, well, I like the fact that you can only do it under $20 because I certainly don't want to lose $20, $30, $40, $50 cards. But is there a barcode on it for scanning? Because I'm thinking, like, I don't see one on the label, is there?
It's not really a barcode, but it sort of is. There's that little thing underneath there that it can be scanned. Okay. Yes, it can be scanned upon arrival.
Now, we do use those harder envelopes, and sometimes that's a reason. But again, say one out of every 300 or 400 gets rejected at one of the postal locations.
Okay.
You know, so we've had a couple come back because they feel it's not an envelope or it's too hard or too thick, whatever the case may be. But I don't know what the reason is why these cards aren't getting there or they're taking long to get there. It is a little frustrating, but that's definitely the biggest issue we have with items not getting there is sports cards.
Roughly how many times have you used the eBay standard envelope? I mean, like, how many cards do you sell a day?
I would say 15 on average.
15 a day, so 100 a week, 105 a week, say 100 a week. And you probably are getting probably one a week at least, item not received, I would say, on sports cards.
I would say that's accurate, yeah.
So it's running about 1% not received, something or other like that.
Yeah.
Now, I had a problem with the post office. I mentioned this before on the show, where I sent something using the standard envelope out to California, and apparently the postmaster at the local post office in California was unaware of the service and actually postage due of $3.49 or something or other like that, which, you know, the buyer sent me a copy of the invoice saying, you know, hey, this was what I was charged, and I sent it over. And I did have another person that got charged 20 cents, which seems kind of crazy because, I mean, it's a small, thin mailer with with a postcard in it. What can it possibly weigh?
Sure.
So one person nicked me for, post office. You know, I can't blame the buyers by any means whatsoever because they're paying it and asking me about it afterwards.
Right.
But the one got nicked for 20 cents and the one got nicked for $3 and some odd cents because, again, their local post office thought that it was first class was the only way it could go. They weren't even aware of it. What are your thoughts on using it going forward? I guess the fact that it's only up to $20 definitely limits your liability.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's still saving, because if I were to start charging $3, $4 first class...
Well, you wouldn't even be able to charge it in the category you're selling it.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think I would just keep doing it and, take the lost one every 100 times or whatever, really.
So if you're selling 100 a week and you're saving $3 on average for postage... Yeah. That's $300 a week that you're saving using it.
Right. Yeah,
and
our average card's probably 12 to $15 range. So if we lose $12 to $15 every 100, it's still
to save 300, right? Yeah. And you definitely are sending them out. Yeah. So overall, it's a good program. It's good to have it available. But again, you also, how many positive feedback do you have roughly?
180,000.
So you have 180,000. If you do get that one customer like Vivs-Views got, where they don't even contact you, they just leave a negative.
Oh, we got one recently, I think.
You did, okay.
It was a card, yeah.
And I find that crazy, I mean, reach out to me or reach out to you, or say, hey, this hasn't come yet. We'll look into the tracking, and if we see that it hasn't arrived, we're going to ask you to sit tight for some period of time.
Right.
Obviously, because we don't want to refund it today and it shows up tomorrow, but we're very fair, very good about refunding it. And if the tracking shows you haven't received it, you get your money back. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That person did not get their money back that left the negative because they never contacted. And I didn't even know there was a negative there till, a week and a half, 2 weeks later, when I happened to just kind of look, and I said, wait, there's a negative. Where did that come from? What did that come from? Wow. Whereas if they had just reached out and said, hey, I ordered this, where is it? I could explain the program. And that's another problem too, is that if you don't deal in sports cards regularly as a buyer, you may not be familiar with the program, and the tracking is not the same as the regular tracking by any means whatsoever.
Plus, sports cards in general, I think, might be one of the highest postal items that gets stolen in the mail. Because a lot of guys know, hey, if it's rigid in an envelope, maybe it's got to be a card in a top holder. So a lot of these guys know that. I was ripped off as well, so I know firsthand. But maybe that's another reason this is happening. Who knows?
That's true too. It might not be making it there just because. Well, some guy ended up with a postcard he probably doesn't want.
Exactly. Oh, I was hoping for Babe Ruth.
Exactly. Yeah, $120 Babe Ruth. Yes, that happens all the time.
Golden Girls postcard.
Nice. But I would love if you could comment down below if you sell postcards. I believe it's it's postcards and it's sports cards are the primary things that it's eligible in. I forget now. And non-sports cards also, obviously. I can't think of any other categories off the top of my head that it's. I've not been able to use
trade cards yet, right?
I don't believe so. No, I've not been able to use it on anything other than postcards because I don't sell sports cards. Yeah, that would be about it. So do let us know down below your experiences with it, and if you've had them not show up, if you've had them, problems with the buyers, if you've had to educate the buyers, because again, it's a great thing for the sellers, and eBay did a very good job, I think, at rolling it out and letting the sellers know. Where I think eBay made a couple of mistakes is I don't think necessarily the buyers knew what it was, and I don't think the buyers necessarily understood that it didn't have the regular tracking. And I think that they or their partners at the post office didn't necessarily let all of the local post offices know.
Yeah, right.
If you've gotten post offices, charging postage, and I've got post offices charging postage, and they, sending things back to you, and that seems absolutely outrageous as well, because I think the whole point. I mean, how many times have you gotten those emails?
12.
There's a few more than that.
I don't go for it. I was guessing.
Those emails from they're the postal authorities are right now looking for my postcard.
Oh, AP should not have shipped that magazine media mail.
APB on that postcard. How many times have you gotten the cost adjustments?
I haven't seen it lately. Surprisingly, with the new size requirements, I've not seen it once.
Not since then, right?
Since before April 1st, yeah.
But back in
I would get them 2-3 times a week. I think I used to get them in their heyday. It was sporadic. Like when it first started, I wasn't getting very often. Then I was getting a ton of it. Now it's slowed down again.
But the whole point of that is that the item doesn't go back to you. That the item goes to so say that they say, geez, this wasn't mailed right. This costs more in postage. They've got the mechanism to charge you back.
Yeah, and I preferred it, obviously.
Yeah, right, because otherwise it comes back to you. Then the buyer is saying, what happened to my item? Why do you have my item? I thought you shipped it out. Then you have to ship it out. And then the other problem comes in. You're thinking, well, A, I want to make sure it gets to them. And B, I already had a problem shipping it out this way once.
I know.
Is it going to get to them if I ship it out a second time? Yeah. So you almost bite the bullet in that case and ship it out first class.
Sure.
Figuring, well, I really want to make sure he has, I hate to put it this way, but make sure he has real tracking on it.
Right.
So he can follow it along the way. Because, again, if he's unaware of the program, he might be thinking there's some shenanigans going about.
Sure.
You never know whatsoever. And you got to obviously make the customer happy on that as well. So do hit the like button, but do comment down below on your experiences if you've used the eBay standard envelope and if you've had issues with it and if you've been charged or had items come back or there's just a lot of confusion everywhere on it or if it's working smoothly for you. As I said, I'm going to stop, or I have stopped using it, but you're going to continue using it.
Correct.
So hopefully that helps you a little bit with what our experiences are. And definitely let us know yours. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye bye.